Hey people, Cariocekus here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Valorant patch notes for 0.49. I'll be going over the patch notes as well as dropping some of my feedback on the changes. If you guys have some feedback of how I can do these videos, you can drop them down below in the comments. If you like the video, drop a like, subscribe. I also do stream over on Twitch if you guys want to chill. I stream a variety of stuff. Links in the video description down below if you want to drop by. So yeah, let's jump into the patch notes. So gameplay and balance changes, we got changes to Omen and Sage. I'm going to start off with Omen. So Omen now immediately becomes vulnerable and no longer appears dark after he reveals his alternate shadow form. So if you guys found Omen teleporting in, it was often confusing when you could go for the kill versus for sending him back. Well, and this change addresses that. But to counter it, they also reduced the attenuation radius of the arrival sound on Omens from the shadows, which was reduced. So it's harder to find him by the sound, but it's easier to get the kill if you find him. So here's a quick look at the change into Omen's ult. You can actually see him teleport in, and as soon as he starts moving, he no longer has a little shadow form, so you can actually see the model, and if you kill it, the character actually dies. Going over Sage. Sage basically received changes to her barrier orb, so it will now only spawn a chunk of the barrier if it is supported by the ground. This means it will sometimes only spawn 2 barrier chunks. And it can no longer be placed on small pieces of geometry. It must be placed on the ground or on top of boxes. Well, what this means for Sage's barrier is that it has to have something underneath it for it to be placed, so no more floating barriers. You can still boost yourself up with it, you just, well, like I said, no more floating barriers. We also had some character updates for Omen and Breach. Both their visuals received an update. We also had some map updates. So the most important one being they added curtains to the top of the double doors on Haven to remove the Sage barrier or boost that allowed players to see through the sliver of the door at the top. They also fixed an issue with Cypher camera being placed on the Haven A main boxes, and multiple geometries on Haven, Bind and Split to fix exploits and help optimize gameplay. Always nice. Always nice. They also updated materials on Bind and Haven to make surfaces more consistent overall. They changed the colors of the Radianite crates in order to unify overall visuals. The main thing on the map changes is literally the curtains, which is going to make it harder to defend Garage. Yeah, let's take a look at see how the curtains look in game. We're here on Haven. We're going to take a look at the curtains being added. So I'm going to boost myself up right here next to the door. And you guys can actually see that these were the curtains they added to the double doors, so you can't really peek from on top of them any longer. So yeah, this was one of the map changes. We also got competitive updates, so they added the competitive mode and ranked matchmaking, but it isn't live yet. But it's going to go live in the near future, so boys, ranked is coming. We also got observer mode. They added a ghost cheat as an option to the custom games with cheats enabled, allowing you to fly around the map in no clip mode. This, I guess it's Riot getting ready for the competitive scene and giving content creators new ways to record, but also if you just want to have a quick look around the map from a different perspective, you can also do that. We also had HUD and UI changes both in-game and outside of the game. I'm gonna start with the in-game stuff. So we have new directional damage indicator visuals as well as new low health and low ammo visuals. These two might help when you enter that tunnel vision and forget to look at your ammo and HP before you go in. They also removed character portrait from player minimap icon to better distinguish player icon. This icon will receive additional color and polish in the future. Voice activity is also now shown above allies' heads, and they added color to spike icon above the allies' head to make it easier to see. They also fixed the ultimate ability icon above teammates' heads, showing as charged after gaining 1 ult point instead of when actually charged. And ping elements now fade when under player aim. So everything regarding pings when you're aiming will now also fade. Previously only the text faded. This also helps if people are actually using the pings. If you're looking at it, you don't have the little icon in the way. So out of the game stuff, they relocated the find match button from social panel to the play screen and renamed it to start. We got another relocation of the practice button from the social to the play screen. They added play again button to end of game screen, so you don't need to go back to the menu. Made the flyouts on the nav progression widget clickable. Made main navigation button click targets easier to click. They also added an option to orient the fixed minimap so that players starting side is always at the bottom. Adjusted all map assets so that full fixed or orientations constantly place attackers at the bottom and defenders at the top. They also added hover tooltips to thumbnails in the collections view to show item names, scroll speed tweak to make scrolling social panel smoother, and they made crosshair preview in settings shorter to make more room for controls. We also had some quality of life things coming in, so they added the ability to abandon a multiplayer custom game using the leave match button in the escape menu. This will allow you to permanently leave the match without penalties, but leaving the custom game any other way, for example exiting the client, pressing Alt F4, will still allow you to return to the match. They also updated the audio occlusion system to help players better differentiate audio distancing cues. For example, when you're in Haven B to A short, you should perceive sounds from their correct distances and not as if they were right next to you. So they're fixing the audio stuff, which is awesome. And players who now abandon match-made games or dodge agent selects will now experience penalties that prevent them from queuing for a period of time, and frequent offenders will experience higher queue time penalties, leaving ruins the game for everyone else. Yeah, obviously. I've actually experienced this a bit when people pick another guy's agent. People might leave. I've been in agent select like 5 times once. And enabled the ability to see Valorant players online in Riot games. The adjusted play flow of the UX, moving queue buttons into lobby screens. They adjusted the social panel UI again to accommodate additional space. They adjusted the end of the game UI again to clean up design of various widgets. They also adjusted chat disconnect error state to be less intimidating. And we had some changes to the spawn on the practice bots options in the shooting range. So it's no longer the F3 menu, but it's an in-world shootable switch now. And they also did some changes for all the shotguns, and they moved the crosshair center dot by 1 pixel to center it on the screen. So shotguns dot moved 1 pixel. We also had more bug fixes in game, starting off with Phoenix. They fixed the bug where Phoenix would get teleported back to an ascender, rope ladder, after respawning in cases where Phoenix died while Run It Back was active and he was attached to a rope. Again with Phoenix, a brief time after Run It Back ended, Phoenix could be damaged in the place where he fizzled. They also changed Viper's appearance of toxic screen on the minimap to show gaps in the wall. And they also fixed Viper being able to animation cancel Viper Spit. So you might be able to catch Viper's strike during her ult a bit easier when it's being activated. So no longer can you animation cancel. They also prevent spike planted announcements from playing after a round has ended and hiding the round end announcements, which should clearly indicate the result of after the buzzer plant rounds. They also fixed a bug with Cypher where Cypher's cyber cage would be selected at a larger range than intended, causing overlapping interaction issues. And Spike Carrier killed announcements from also showing when ally defusing. They fixed a rare issue where players' weapons would float in front of them. Another rare issue where third-person player models could get desynced from the server when double tapping a defuse, causing some shots to miss. Aim issues caused some players who were using low sensitivity to have small mouse movement dropped. Another one where cancelling a plant or ore pickup could sometimes play the wrong slower re-equip animation, making it look as if the player could fire too quickly after cancelling. The timing was correct, the animation wasn't. They also fixed map region names as they appear below the minimap from not localizing properly, smoothed out movement during player-to-player collisions. But when you bump into other people, it should be a lot smoother now. That's also nice when you're bumping into your teammates when your guys are running in. They also fixed a bug where item UI prompt in the game world would appear to block bullets. Another one where the Z-ping wheel could be open alongside the map ping wheel, creating a scenario where multiple ping wheels could be open at once. Another one with the ping wheel, where it wouldn't show disabled when direct bound pings were used to reach usable limit. Some rare bugs, where either team could win a round by elimination on the same frame that the spike was diffused, granting 2 points for that round. I actually never had this bug. An overlap in ally planting announcements, also never had this, but good to see they're fixing. Fixed a bug where the voice over radial wheel would hit the frame limit by opening and closing it without selecting the VO option. Minimap will no longer randomly hide all players in a game. And we also have changes to the Bucky shotgun, so the alternate fire is now hit scan damage. And previously it was a projectile that was able to kill enemies shortly after the user was killed. Oh, I actually didn't know it was a projectile. I still don't know if we're actually going to be seeing more Buckies in game with this or not. So another more bug fixes, this time game client related. We fixed an issue that allowed players to purchase items not available in their respective stores. We fixed an issue that let players equip content they didn't own. And more issues where display settings would get reapplied when joining leaving games, which could move the window or change display mode in rare cases. Network stability indicator sometimes appearing when sighting was disabled. Line of sight is no longer required to pick up the spike when overlapped by a player. Another one where the spike would sometimes become unretrievable, preventing some players from reports from being submitting. Various connection issues with voice chat, connection issues with text chat. More issues with player state being incorrect in the social panel. Issues where some players could not re-queue after a game without relogging. Issues with party invitations, transparent player card icons in the custom game lobbies, resetting controls for voice chat, voice defaulting to automatic transmission for custom games, voice being interrupted when navigating custom game options, and they also fixed a handful of localization issues across the menu screens. So overall this patch was quite larger than the last one. We had a lot of fixes, a lot of quality of life stuff to help the game improve. Overall I feel like this was a very good patch. A lot of good changes to come. We finally got competitive in the game. It's not active yet, but it's coming. Yeah, boys, if you guys could drop some feedback on how I could improve this video, do it down below in the comments. If you like, drop a like, subscribe, drop by the Twitch channel if you want. Yeah, guys, I'm Cariocekus. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one.